Welcome back. This is the part 8 of how to model a cartoon character using Autodesk Maya. In the previous video, we worked with the basic shape of the shoe of the character, and in this video, hopefully, we will able to complete this shoe. So let's get started. First, I'm going to the front view. Okay, not front view. I'll go to the top view, and here we will try to make the shape of the shoe. So I'm scaling this vertex of both side and then moving them backwards a little bit, and also these two vertex, moving them backwards and scaling them, and these two vertex also. Okay, no, not these two. I'm moving them forward a little bit, and this one a little bit forward. So this is the front part of the shoe. Now select these two vertex and move them forward a little bit. Okay, now from the front view, here you can see that the vertex of both sides are lined up, but we have to round them up so that they'll look like a shoe. So I'm going to the top view again, and I'm selecting this side vertex and this side vertex, moving them and then scaling them also. So I'm rounding up the shape so that it looks like a shoe. Now I'm select the vertex, all the vertex that are in the edge of this shoe. So from this side to this one, and not this one. So I'm selecting all these vertex and I'm moving them inwards, and also I'm selecting this vertex also, and move them inwards. Select these ones also and move them so that it matches. The space between the faces are equal. Okay, now select this vertex of the edge of this shoe, and I'm going to move them inwards a little bit more. And then go to the side view, then move them down a little bit, and backwards a little bit. and do the same thing for the vertex of the back side. So I'm selecting this vertex and then moving them inwards, and also this vertex, and move them inwards. Okay. Now go to the front view again. Here you can see this part of the shoe, so we have to make this part of the shoe separately. And for this, what we'll do is select this face that are in the middle, and we'll select the faces. Okay, these faces, and I need to round it a little bit. That's why I'm selecting this vertex and moving it forward a little bit. And these two vertex, I will scale them a little bit. Now select these faces, and I'm going to extract this face from this mesh. So I'm going to the mesh tool, and not mesh tool, here you'll find this tool. Here in the edit mesh options, I'm extracting these faces. So these faces are now separate from this mesh, and then I'm going to delete by type and history, and delete by type and history. So if I move it, you can see these faces are separate now from the original mesh. And for the top part of the shoe, I'm going to select these faces and delete them, and select these faces and delete them. Now I will modify this extracted mesh and try to match it with the reference image. And since we are following the side of the reference image for modeling, that's why I'm not moving it too much. And I'm inserting two edge loop in here, so I'm selecting this edge and split edge, and this one, and also splitting the edge, and select these two, and okay, select these two vertex only and round them up. Okay, and then move this part a little bit backward and inward. Now height this one, so I'm Control H, pressing Control H to hide this mesh, and now select the main mesh and move this part so that it matches with the reference image. Okay, so here you can see this line. I am trying to follow this line of the shoe, and my symmetry option is turned off because shoe is not symmetrical in both sides. That's why I turned it off. Okay, and try to match it with the reference image as closely as possible. Here you can see if we insert one edge loop in here, we can modify this part much better. That's why I have inserted another edge loop in here and move it a little bit and move it a little bit from both sides. Now looks good. Move this one, this one. Okay, now you can see the shape of this outer part of the shoe matches with the reference image. Now let's round this part a little bit from the top view, the back of the shoe. So I'm moving this part a little bit and these two also. So I'm moving this part and moving them just a little bit so that there is randomization of the shape. Here you can see these vertices are not lined up properly. That's why I'm selecting them and moving them a little bit. Okay, now you can see the shoe shape is almost rounded but not exactly rounded. Okay, I think it's good so far. So, and we'll modify further of this parts of the shoe later, because we're working with the basic shapes now. So we'll focus on the basic shapes mainly right now, and we'll think about the other detailed part later. Now here you can see that the shoe is not rounded, it's pretty much straight in this portion. Here you can see, so I'm selecting all these edges and scaling them a little bit, and I will also again go to the front view and select all these vertex that are in the bottom, and see we didn't select these ones, so you have to select these ones also, and go to the front view again and scale them a little bit, or we can scale. Okay, we will scale them, scaling them a little bit. Let's turn on the symmetry option and try to rotate them and see what it looks like. Okay, we'll do this thing but not in we'll deselecting the vertex that are in the middle because we do not need those, and also these vertices too. Now let's rotate them and move them. Okay, and then select only these vertex and then scale them a little bit more. We have to also select the vertex that are in the back side, then scale them. I think now it will look like a shoe shape. Okay, and since our basic shape of the shoe is formed, we will work with the details of this shoe and then connect all the parts together. So now from the side view, here you can see the shoe is a little bit off the reference image, so I'm moving this vertex back and forth to match with the reference image. Let's turn off this symmetry option. And here you can see these faces are much bigger than the other face, so what I'm going to do, I'll insert two more edge loop in here So I'm selecting this edge and press Ctrl in the keyboard and the right mouse button and split the edge, and here also I'm splitting the edge. And now I'm rounding them up. Okay. And I'm also inserting another edge loop in here. So it looks good, I think, and we do not need more edge. We have sufficient edge already. So we will start work with the details. So for detailing, what we can do is we can select all the faces. First we'll make this part. So I'm selecting all these faces that are covered by this part. Select all these faces, and now we'll duplicate this. We'll duplicate these faces. So I'm pressing the shift button in the keyboard and the right mouse button, and here you can see duplicate face option. So those faces I selected are now duplicated, and I will only move them from the side view. So I'm selecting this face, and then I'm using this isolate select option. Now move this vertex back and forth and match them with the reference image. So here you can see I'm only using the front. I'm only moving them front and upwards, and front and backwards and downwards, but not from side to side like this. I am only moving them in from the side view and only in Y and Z axis. I'm not using X axis. So keep moving this vertex so that they matches with the reference image. And keep selecting the vertex and I'm making space by moving this vertex and then pushing the vertex that are in the edge. Okay. So here you can see we have almost achieved the shape of this design. Okay, looks good so far. Just move them a little bit so it matches properly. Here you can see it's pretty bit off. Some parts of this mesh is inside this main mesh, and some parts are outside of it, but we have to match it with the shape of the shoe. So for this, what we'll do, we are going to select this mesh and move it out from the original mesh, and then we will go to the front view and select this original mesh of the shoe, and here you can see this magnet icon. It will make any object live. That means if you select, I'm selecting the original mesh of the shoe right now, and if I hit this button, it will make this original piece of mesh into a magnet object, live object. Okay. So now what we'll do is select the design part of this shoe, and we will select the vertex individually and then move them in the negative x direction, and it will snap with the shoe. So just move it in the negative x direction. Okay, I think the video is getting lengthier, so I'm stopping this video in here, and we will work with the details in the next video. So hopefully I'll see you in the next video, guys. Until then, goodbye.